Guilty? This harmless little character. Guilty of what? He's accused of having won a race against more powerful competitors. But what race are we talking about? Well, this race.
These are the Oscars!
Do you know how many animated feature films entered this year's Oscar race?
27.
Among them were 6 from Netflix.
Stop that! Don't hurt him anymore!
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, The Sea Beast,
Real, live.
My Father's Dragon,
So, as your masters, we order you to turn around.
Wendell and Wild,
Are you ready?
Ready.
Apollo 10 and Half,
多分これ夢なんだよ。
Drifting Home,
実に決まってんだ。
3 from Disney,
It's gonna be me.
Turning Red,
Let all the children move.
Lightyear,
Dad? Dad? Grandpa? I'm a grandpa.
Strange World, 2 from DreamWorks,
You're afraid because I'm the big bad wolf. And this is the crew.
The Bad Guys,
Oh, I have got to learn how to do that.
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, 1 from Apple, Luck, 1 from Warner,
My dog's the best, but he's not the greatest with other animals.
What is new with you, fellow normal dog?
DC League of Super Pets, 1 from Illumination,
I'm not.
Minions: The Rise of Gru, 3 from Jiggits, distributor of animated films, especially from Asia. Imho, New Gods: Jian,
Even if people say it's impossible, that doesn't mean that you have to give up on your happily ever after.
Goodbye, Don Cleese. That brings us to 17 films. The remaining 10 are
Don't forget to land on your...
Paws of Fury, The Legends of Hank,
Not what I was expecting.
the Bob's Burgers movie,
That life loves us, but that we love life.
Charlotte, Eternal Spring,
And connects you to the entire universe.
Lamia's Poem,
Et ça va pas la tête! C'est une fille!
Little Nicholas, Happy as Can Be, Mad God,
Sometimes I find my mind wandering, thinking, what would my family think?
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Oink, Run Tiger Run. And how many of these 27 films were selected to compete for the Oscar?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just 5. Netflix with 2 of 6. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, The Sea Beast. Disney with 1 of 3. Turning Red.
Yes!
DreamWorks with 1 of 2. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And so we come to 4. The last one is a film from a group of production companies unknown to the general public, whose protagonist is this strange little guy,
Parsley.
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On,
I also have shoes.
who, as small as he is, entered the final series in which the Oscar for the Best Animated Film 2023 will be awarded on March 13th. And this is the first thing he's accused of having left out of the competition productions such as Lightyear, The Bad Guys, Minions: The Rise of Gru, Luck, Bad Luck, and DC League of Super Pets. You could say that these films were made not just to compete for the Oscar, but to win it. Well, those are out and Marcel is in. And how did Marcel to make a place for himself?
You know you're welcome back here anytime you want.
He did it first with tenderness, then with a solid cinematographic background, and finally with the intelligence to make the most of every available resource. And why do I put tenderness in the first place? Because the first thing I saw of Marcel was the trailer, where this became very clear to me.
Sometimes I find my mind wandering,
Listen to that voice.
thinking, what would my family think?
Listen to the way he talks.
Do you think they could be out there?
The way he expresses himself.
Marcello, let's forget about being afraid. Just take the adventure.
Okay, let the battle begin, Marcel.
Isn't it lovely? Everything about him seemed ideal for a family film. That's why I went to IMDb and found his poster. And that his IMDb score was 7.7 out of 10 on more than 15,000 votes. Well, at that point, my decision was made. This will be the Saturday night family movie. And watch out, my kids are teenagers. And I didn't know that the film was an Oscar nominee. In my case, the tenderness convinced me. The solid cinematographic background is mainly evident in the way the information is proportioned to present the characters and the situation in which they find themselves. And I can no longer illustrate this without showing the film. And I cannot show you the film because the copyright owner would prevent me from monetizing this video. I can only tell you that when you start watching the film, remember this. The information is given to us gradually, so that we as spectators put the puzzle together. And that keeps us active, expectant, working. Not all directors know how to do that. This one does, using narrative techniques without fireworks. And finally, intelligence is noticeable in two fundamental aspects: in how he solves the animation screen time that production allowed him to have, using voice-over, showing what the characters see instead of always seeing them, and how he manages to expand the world restricted to that house. Basically, from the internet first, with YouTube, Airbnb and social networks, and then with television, from a brilliant connection with a show that Marcel and his grandmother are fans of, allowing him to find a character in Guatemala who is the key to finding his lost family and community. All these values are what brought Marcel the Shell with Shoes On to the Oscar. Will he also win the prestigious award? But something even more important, this film goes totally against the current children's trend. It is tender, endearing, and moves peacefully forward. Will the Academy reward these values? Will Marcel go to jail? What do you think about it?
And the Oscar goes to Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Well, good luck to Marcel. It looks like at least he won't go to jail.